Hello, amazing parents. Hey, it's Jen. I am with a new friend, Maya Stoychevski. Did I pronounce that right? And she is a coach for special parents, and she helps parents of kids with special needs who are feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, and stuck after a life-altering diagnosis. So the thing that I love most about Maya is that she is a mom too. So she's lived this, she's lived through the experience, and she knows exactly what you're going through, exactly what I went through. And now she's helping other families to make a switch. So she was able to make a switch from, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to my daughter? And so those feelings of overwhelm and denial, anger, to, so she made a switch from that into, how can I learn from this experience? How can I grow from this experience? How can I experience more joy, more peace, and more optimism? Now, before we dive into how Maya figured that all out, I would love Maya to share a little bit about her story and her amazing daughter, Joanna.
Hi, Jen. So happy to be with you tonight. Greetings from Germany. That's right. I'm a special parent to an angel in the sky. My daughter Joanna moved on with her journey last November. So from November 2020, she is not with us physically anymore, but she is constantly here, and I feel her energy in me and all around me all the time. So we've been on a 6 year journey with our daughter, and it was true what you said at the introduction. I was dealing with many negative emotions, going from despair to too much worrying for the future, fear, self-pity, pity for her, being angry, constantly asking why, constantly going through all the days of my pregnancy, trying to figure out whether I did something wrong, whether I could prevent this. So, and all those negative emotions and thoughts that are very common to every special parent in the world, no matter which country they are in.
Mhm.
So at one point, when she was about three and a half years old, I just happened a little switch inside me, and I intuitively thought that all these questions I'm asking are the wrong ones, and actually what I need to focus on is how can I live better despite having this experience. And this is how it all started.
What a great question. There's that famous quote that our lives are defined by the questions that we ask. I'm not sure who said that, but yeah. So you were able to to ask a better question, right? To ask a more an opening question, and those feelings and emotions that you experienced. I went through that all too, and I know there's a lot of parents listening to this that are either just starting that journey or have somewhere in the middle of it's kind of like a spectrum. And so maybe you can walk us through, like, is there the 5 stages of grief that parents go through, or is there a certain path that you see that's common for a lot of parents?
Yes, they are. Actually, there are stages, and I do have an article on my blog called 5 Stages of Special Parenting. There is such a thing, and the first stage is denial. And every parent who just heard of the diagnosis of their child, or they are known that their child has a diagnosis for quite a time, they've been through this phase. It's a denial, it's a shock, it's yeah, raise up the hands who can relate to this, everybody. So the first stage is denial and shock. And going to a second opinion and third opinion and fourth opinion, hoping that some of the doctors will say, no, this is such a huge mistake. Don't worry, everything is all right with your child. Basically, it's all we want to hear when we go for a second opinion and third and the fourth one.
Yeah.
And after that phase is finished, now we're slowly starting to face the reality. especially as the child grows older, and we now actually can see that it's going behind mentally and physically, or just one way or the other. And here we face the harsh reality that we are going to be dealing with some huge health challenges with our children. And this is where I think this is the most difficult period in our journey, because you're at the bottom at that moment. You're sort of like I'm going to dare to say you're in a kind of like a victim mode. You really don't feel you can do anything from the one side, but from the other, you're actually doing too many things. And you're in quite of like a panicking mode, trying to get the best therapy, the best doctor, the best hospital, rushing things for not to get too late, because after 3 years, after 4 years, the child cannot be developing so well as the first years, and we're bombarding ourselves with too much information, too much Googling on the internet, what to expect, and it's a so and I really thinking of that period back then from this perspective, I really don't know how was I able actually to sleep and to eat normally and to function normally. But it's a phase when we are too much filled with adrenaline, and that moves us forward.
Oh, okay.
After a while,
Like it's an information gathering stage too, right?
yeah.
Like, I need more.
Yeah, and it's time for action mode. And after a while, I think that after we process all of these emotions and we give ourselves enough time to process everything, it's time to slow down. And it's similar as you were talking when you were on my channel and we were doing the interview from the parents from my platform, when you were explaining the exercises and how you approach every child you work with is to slow down. The same is with the parents. We cannot hear ourselves, and we are not able to see within and what is in here if we don't stop our thoughts, if we don't stop the panic and the rushing and the trying to fix everything mode, and just slow down and accept. There is no way we can progress in anything, especially we as a parents cannot progress and go anywhere with our child without first accepting their condition. I'm going to share with you that I have too many parents coming for coaching to me, and one of the first things they say is that how much they are bothered by the environment not accepting their child. And this happens with parents from America, from UK, from Germany, Macedonia, all over the world. Apparently, the environment is not friendly with special children nowhere in the world. But the first thing that I'm doing with those parents is first their acceptance to their child. If you haven't accepted fully, honestly, and completely the personality of your child, the way it is, you cannot expect no one else around you to do that.
Right. Yeah, that's such a great point, right? So acceptance within your little, I mean, most families are kind of isolated in their house quite a bit too, and there needs to be that acceptance first before you go out into that big world out there. Yeah.
And after this phase, it's just you're witnessing to a much calmer period, because you as a parent get calmer, and then you can see how you transfer that energy immediately to your child. This is what happened to me when I got this question inside my head, wait a minute, I should ask not why me, but what can I learn from this experience? And then I took her and I told her to her ear when she was crying, having a really rough night, that from now on, I'm accepting her as she is, as who she is, and I'm not going to try to fix her anymore. Even this crying, I'm not going to try to shush her so I can sleep better. I will going to just let her express herself and be who she is. And she calmed down immediately and fall asleep.
Yeah.
And that was my sign, my confirmation and evidence that I'm onto something here, and this is way better way to look at things and to live life than previously.
Yeah.
I don't want to fool you that that was the last time she cried, and then in the next 3 years we were just blissfully smiling all day long. No, the crisis would come again, but it was they would last much shorter now that I'm calm and when I'm not participating in those negative emotions with her. I would stay stable, I would stay balanced in good energy, and she would find support in that.
That's just so brilliant, because that is what that's what the Niel method does, just in a physical kind of setting. We were always taught to meet the child where they're at, meet them where they're at, and that's part of the acceptance, right? You meet your child wherever they are, wherever they're at. You meet them where they're at, and when you meet them where they're at, that's when you can create the opportunities for learning new skills, learning something new, for trying something new. And when you fight against, when you're not meeting them where they're at, or you're not in acceptance, you're butting your head up against this wall, right? You're butting yeah. So it's all about, meeting your child where they're at. And you saw immediate changes right away. She could feel that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't have any intellectual capacities. She wasn't verbal. I don't think that she could form thoughts in her head as we do, but she could feel energy, definitely. All of us, all humans could feel that.
Yeah.
And every child feels an emotional burden when the parent is angry or sad or in a bad mood all day long, day after day after day. So if you don't want for your child to feel emotional burden, then first of all, find a way to accept, and then find a way to build on to this condition so it can grow more, and this feeling could expand and become more stable and become your new ritual and habit and your new personality from today till the rest of your life.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So is that the last kind of stage? Is acceptance, or is there another stage parents go through?
Well, regarding to the child, it's the last stage, and it's the stage that they're supposed to stay in from now on, and then not to when we say we didn't try to fix her anymore, that doesn't mean that we never took her to a doctor again. We were doing all the exams and therapies and still trying to find the solution, but from a very different place than before. Before we would just try to fix this thing for her to heal, and then we don't have to deal with this anymore, so she could be diagnosed free. And with the new way of thinking and acting, we would try just to increase her quality of life without having attachment, whether she is going to be better or not. So that is the last stage regarding the special parenting. But once you've managed to come to this place, if you want to stay here, if you want not to get back to the old patterns where you were stuck in those feelings of despair and fear and worrying too much of the future, thinking too much about the past, and so on, then what you need to do next is personal development. Every parent, even the parents who have healthy children, who have no challenges in their life like special needs to work on themselves, not on their children. And when they work on themselves, they represent the example, actually, so that the children can follow. Because you know what? When I achieved my acceptance and I continued to do this personal development journey, adopted a morning routine that would help me this new way of starting of the day with a little bit of exercise and meditation and some journaling would help me balance me so much that I could maintain this positive energy for my daughter and everyone in the family for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And when I continued this personal development journey, I cannot explain to you how many things I healed in my life. And Jen, my biggest revelation was that I thought that having the special child was the biggest ultimate tragedy that happened in my life. And this is the reason why I'm not happy, why I'm despaired, and everything we've come down. But when one starts to deal with their personality and their insights and what is in here, we, we then see that we have so many unhealed issues that we carry through life, like unresolved conflicts with family members or friends, or self-confidence issues, or putting our standards low and accepting a job that we don't like, and actually do work something on a workplace we hate in a toxic environment, and struggling with finances, struggling with purpose in life, and so on and so on. And these are such a huge life aspects that are we take them for granted, and we are not doing actually about them anything until something huge hits us in life, and then we sit down and re-examine everything. So this is the main value I give to parents who I work with.
Oh, it's just beautiful. Yeah, I resonate with all of that, and I think that's for a lot of parents, it does ring true. Is a diagnosis, a life-altering diagnosis throws you. You can't not deal with your own issues, or you will flounder and you will struggle for until you actually deal with it. It has a way of like throwing it right in your face, and I know, I went through, my daughter's 13 now, so I went through the beginning stages of her diagnosis without an online community. I lived in northern Canada where the town I lived in was like 500 people. Like there wasn't a support system. So thank goodness that there's people who have walked the journey like yourself, that are able to guide parents through this and give them hope and tools, right? Tools to get to that next stage and support them when they have those really hard questions, right? To kind of guide them through those really hard questions. So you offer an amazing, a lot of online options to work with you. I was checking out your YouTube channel, and you just have amazing resources on your YouTube channel. And you offer, one-on-one sessions and all of that, but you offer something that I would be interested in even, and I know some of my members here would love to hear more about your Coffee with Maya. I just think that's such a great idea. So tell us more.
Yeah, it's one of my dearest projects in the world. So first of all, I started only with doing consultations one-on-one and coaching one-on-one with special parents. In time, that grew in me becoming also a general life coach, from the people approaching me and saying to me, Maya, I've watched some of your videos and I'm sorry, but I do not agree that all of your advices are only for special parents. You are talking about relationships, you are talking about morning routine, you are talking about organizing time and how not to procrastinate. I need that. I don't have a special child. I would like to come to you. And this happened more than 10 times. So I just adapted my website, and I divided the services in explaining what special parents coaching is and what coaching one-on-one is. After a while, I felt the need to form some group where I could just teach anyone who wants to listen how to overcome difficult life challenges, and how to be able to stand like this and have a dominantly positive emotion for the most of the day, every day in your life, no matter what you've been through. And I didn't want to open a Facebook group because I thought that there are too many Facebook groups in the moment, and it's too much time consuming and it's not so effective. If I would do a live on a Facebook, you could see me, you could write comments to me, but I'm not going to be able to see your pretty faces. And I would love to see your pretty faces. So I was thinking through, and I've been discussing this with my mentor, as I work also with a coach and a mentor myself. And we've come up with this idea to create a space on Zoom where I'm going to be organizing this Coffee with Maya meetings. And from the day one, it started with an amazing interest from many people, and it's lasts until today. It's been the first Coffee with Maya was in April. So yeah, yes, it's a free event. I wasn't charging for that so far, and I'm not going to start to do that from now on, because it's really something that I like to give to the world. And it's something that everyone should have the opportunity to even hear different perspective, different idea. Sometimes you can change a person's life with only one sentence, with only one thought that they can shift in their mind. So I have a Macedonian group, as I'm from Macedonia. Also, I have a Serbian Croatian group, as I speak also Serbian Croatian, and I have an English group. I only don't have a German group. Maybe in the future I will open a German group as well, but with all the projects going on right now, it's the best I can do, really. And Coffee with Maya is always on Wednesday, but it's changing dates. So everyone who is interested, you can write to me, and I will put you in the list of the language you would like to, just to join the group. And it looks like, we're having a Zoom. We all have our coffees prepared. I always have some subject prepared upfront, and about 20-30 minutes I'm giving you the content that I would like to give you. Sometimes it's on a topic of time management and better productivity. Sometimes it's how to get better habits, how to deal with other people, what is law of attraction, and is it true that we do create everything in our life, and many similar discussions, where after this first 30 minutes, when I'm presenting the subject, then the other one who could just ask a question or give a comment or their own, or share some experience. And it's been amazing. This community grows more and more and more, especially after the YouTube video I created, where I explained to the people that they can sign in for Coffee with Maya. And also one of my newest projects is having a group coaching. I had 2 groups starting just 3 days ago. So in the next 10 weeks, I will be guiding those 2 groups. And yeah, we'll see what will come next for the next year.
Fantastic. Love it. So if parents want to contact you, where is the best place to go? Straight to your website, or check out your YouTube, or email? How would parents find you?
It's really basically all the same, because I check up all of my social media every day. You can write to me on my email. If you watch any video from my YouTube channel, you can find down below all the contact details on Instagram, on Facebook, on my website, on my email. And we will put probably here in the comments 1 or 2 videos so people could find everything they need. The Instagram, probably you can see it already right now. You've probably put it in the description. Yeah. And it's really all the same. You can write in Messenger, wherever it's
you're
more convenient.
Omnipresent. You're everywhere.
Well, in the moment, I do my best to, as I really worked on my organizational skills, and I really improved myself in that part. Now I can probably say that I really managed to, juggle with that all. And yeah, I will be able to return to the message today or latest the next day.
Oh, yeah. That's so great. I know there's a lot of parents in my community who are struggling, who are somewhere on that, spectrum of the stages, denial. I was there for a long time. Denial. So what again are the stages? Denial.
Denial and shock was the first one.
Yes.
Then was the self-pity and why me phase, and the shock of the reality. Oh my God, we really do have a problem.
Yeah.
And then comes the acceptance. And when the parent is in this state of mind, when they reach this acceptance or looked for help, how to achieve this acceptance, then their job is to continue to develop themselves. To the purpose of all that is for them to change their perspective, to change their mindset, because we suffer for the situation we are in because of our mindset. No one is telling to us from the outside, oh, you poor thing, what are you going to do now, blah, blah, blah. It's all ourselves. We are telling all those stories, scary stories to ourselves,
Mhm.
everything we've heard so far. We, reach in our memory to examples we know from the past, how they dealt with their special children. And the, basically, we need to change our thoughts, our mindset, and our perspective of the things. And we are going to maintain that positive mindset if we work on it every day.
Right. I think it's just so amazing that there's, people like you willing to share those tools and that support system with parents um, because it isn't widely known. You are just kind of thrown into this when your child's born. You're kind of tossed into this without a guide map. There's no guide map.
Nope.
Um, and often the guide maps that are given to us or presented to us are from people who haven't experienced it. I was given a lot of really bad advice from professionals who weren't living my reality, and it's just so nice to see professionals who have lived this reality and willing to share those tools with other parents to lift them up. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much, Maya, for joining me and sharing your story and your journey. I know you're going to help a lot of parents in their own journeys, and I'm just super excited to have you back so we can chat a little bit more. If there's questions from parents, they can pop them down below or contact me or Maya, and we will do maybe a Q&A or something like that, and we'll keep going, answer the questions in more videos. And is there anything, I'll leave with one final question, was what if you could go back to the first kind of days or the first few weeks, um, what would you tell yourself? What's kind of your best advice?
Yeah, I I thought about this many times.
Mhm.
Although sometimes it's painful to think about this this way. It's always painful to go back there in this way because a special parent carries with themselves a lot of amount of guilt,
Mm,
great amount of guilt. Every
mhm,
one of us.
yeah,
Is it something I did to do
mhm,
this? So this happened,
mhm,
and that's why it's so hard to go back. And I'm careful
yeah,
with going back to the memories, but definitely one and only advice I would have for myself is enjoy every day. Enjoy, relax. There is nothing that you're supposed to fix. She is not going to think of herself that she is a failure, that she is not enough, that she is handicapped if you don't do as well.
mhm,
Only if I stayed in all those emotions, she would maybe feel that something is wrong with her. No special child with Down syndrome, with cerebral paralysis, with autism, with many different diagnoses, doesn't think for themselves, oh, poor me, look at me, I'm in a wheelchair. Who kid does that? No one.
mhm,
Only we as a grown-ups can, put that burden on them. So
mhm.
that is what I would do from the day one. I would just relax and enjoy and just be happy and find happiness and joy in the little things in the everyday life.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's awesome. Okay, so with that, thank you so much again for joining us, Maya, and we will see you back on again at a later date. And thank you so much, amazing parents, for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you so much for inviting me. I've been enjoying so much and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.